Abusiamfo ne adɔfo a munyina kwa biem we solo Hamza and some NPP gurus Zato and Fifi Boafon ma clash. Now Sabri is all about the flood that just a course on the Monday 29th of June. And once some no mugusi the able bona I say during NPP time, especially a solo know that a factor now. A back on NPP nina just say in SMC, I just say in or share with fact and record and a few the finance ministry at NPP time. Our just say Sikankwa NPP for in free outside the country to solve this menace like $350 million in Ghana cities. And these people no says ka we nyina no ye ho ade papa bi omo ye obe breaki eniema omde ne down just say niema pa wo so omde me ye ni ho no with this amount no ye ho hwe no. And the question is sikana ye the ewin owie no Hamza just we NDC MP so de bika ho what just say Bawumia na nkrofo si tawa ade just omo hru no mbom ntutu ye nkutin nsem chichim.
Yes, it's very simple. I mean, first of all, we cannot predict what the creator of this world will do in terms of rains. I mean, no matter the storm drains that you put up, we must get it clear that depending on the volumes that we receive, we can have flooding. No matter the storm drain, because you don't know the volumes that will be unleashed. As was reported, that 140 millimeters that we received happens to be the highest. Nobody anticipated that it could move to 140 millimeters. But it is the reason why we put, as a country or as any company or corporate organization, you try as much as possible to put mitigation efforts in place so that when they do happen, the impact of that will not be dire. That is the whole essence of why we put institutions in place. So you have your assemblies that are supposed to regulate, buildings. You have your AESLs, that is the engineering departments. And on top of that, you have what you call NADMO, National Disaster Management Organization. This one, that is where I want to focus my attention. Because we have been doing one too many politics with that institution. And that is the bane. And any human being that fails to protect the environment, nature will take its course. Now we have been told that as a result, and this piece, it was done by your station, that, and my brother Zato yesterday used it, and I told him that he has to be very cautious with the levels of propaganda that he was trying to channel. That as a result of the non-release of funds to Garrett, that is why we have what we have. We have dig a bit deeper into how the Garrett monies have been utilized, and it will blow your mind. My goodness. So here, let me borrow Fifi's words. Why do we do these things to ourselves? Between 2019 and 2024, check it out. And here you can also go and do your search. So between 2019 and 2024, this is how Ghana, here is the breakdown of how the money was used. A total of $350 million approved, 103 million, 103.8 million has already been disbursed. And out of that money, 22.1 million, that is 21%, went to training. I don't know what sort of training. $22.1 million. Oh.
Which document is this?
It's with the Ministry of Finance. They will share it with you.
Oh, okay.
I've given you the source. Ministry of Finance. $22.1 million went to training. 7.9 million was spent on consultancies. 65 million. They made it. 65 million was diverted to what? COVID. But I hope you asked for the COVID, you remember?
Yeah, but was it diverted or they requested and it was approved that they should?
Why would they approve that? We had a lot of money that could have been used for that COVID. In any case, what really did they use that money for in terms of COVID? What specifically did they use it for? COVID, we heard Felicia Tete tell us that she was given 100,000 being a member of the NPP and the second vice of the NPP in the north. So they were just sharing. I kept telling you. And the last time I came, you asked you whether or not during COVID you had the food. Did you eat some?
I was in Accra. Nobody was sharing any food.
You were not working?
I was working.
But you were in Accra?
I was in Accra then.
Yes, but those of us who were in Accra, at least I didn't get a green. Hamza, did you get some?
No.
Fifi, did you get some of the food?
But the food was not meant for you. You were in
It was not meant for me.
You were in government then. Was it meant for you?
Me, I have never held any government position.
It is about government.
You were with
a big man like you.
I am not a big man. Have I come to tell you that I'm a big man?
I know. You don't have to tell me.
So what criteria were they using to shut up? But at least the poor ones that I even know, my people on the street that I have interviewed them, none of them got any food. But they came to tell you that they expended 54 million on cooking food for you. The amount that they expended on actual construction between 2019 to 2024 was $11.4 million. Can you imagine? So when we do these things to ourselves, why would we not have this situation? Now you talk about indiscipline and corruption. So if
but the same document you read on the overall project status, it says the implementation of GARID has been significantly constrained by fiscal measures introduced by the Ministry of Finance during the calendar year 2025, including a funding ceiling on project disbursement and a temporary sweeping of 13.8 million cedis from the designated account. The resulting cash flow constraint led to accumulation of unpaid interim payment certificate, delayed contractor payment, and a slowdown in civil works execution. While the project retains sufficient total financing to achieve its objectives, the interruption in funding flows had material operational consequences, including increased exposure to time-related cost overruns, such as claims, price adjustment, and penalties, additional procurement and contract management pressures, and delays in resettlement linked work.
So what you just read has been answered by this. If you were a government, and
okay. I'll come back.
But let me clear that, because if you go like that,
I'll come over.
Are you picking a call or something?
Yes.
All right.
Let me bring in. There's.
It is because the government, successive government, have not opened up very well.
Oh, but the decentralization, you bid.
But the point is that when you give contracts and you respect the contracts, I mean, all these equipment are sold in the open market. They are looking for businesses to give the equipment to.
Yes.
And when they are so sure, it's the reason the banks are there. So you have the off-taker, which is the assembly. You have the businessman that wants to engage in the business of waste collection, come in. And then you have the payee, or the people supplying the equipment. So once the assembly gives the contract, and the banks have confidence in the assemblies that when the businessman works, his money will be paid, they will easily give money. That's why the banks are there, to go and procure the type of equipment that could be used to do this job. What has been happening is that people can work for like 6 months, 7 months, and the money is not coming. And what happens is that the banks are afraid that it will affect their cash flows. And that is why it seems that it's only Zoom Lion that can provide all this equipment. It's not true. So governments must improve their repayment positions so that more and more people can go enter into the business of waste management. Well, waste itself is big money. You get my point? Waste is big money. And when we do that, we can deal with that situation. Secondly, those that were running their mouths in the interview, they are part of the problem. Who are those generating the waste?
Okay.
They are part of the problem. Where they are living, are they supposed to live there? Side by side on the drain. I mean, who does that? And it's part of the GARID. GARID was supposed to remove about 2,800 of these structures off there. And people must understand why the GARID came into being. In 2015, we experienced the June 3rd issue, right? Where about 100 or so people died. You remember that situation? Now, when it happened, government of the day did a proposal and sent it to government, because the extent of, we lost about $55 million during the June 3rd, 2015 issue. And then government needed about $105 million for reconstruction. So if you combine all, it would have been about $170 million. The government of the day prepared a proposal that, look, we cannot face June 3rd again. So send the proposal to the World Bank. And the World Bank says, yes, there was so much sense in it. We will help you out. Out of that, we are supposed to clear all these containers and stuff from there and turn this drain. If you have been to Amsterdam Central before, that is exactly Amsterdam Central sitting right there, where you have these small boats in the side by side. They have their red light district where those ladies and stuff and the clubs and ladies. Oh yeah, beautiful. You haven't been to Amsterdam Central before.
Okay. Let me bring it.
This is the way you open yourself.
Oh, it's very open. Very open.
Be very careful.
Hamza, please come in.
First of all, let me express my sympathies and that of the National Democratic Congress on behalf of the NDC and the government to those who have been badly affected by this year's floods. I do not know whether we have seen all of it yet, but the sad reality is that lives were lost, properties destroyed,
Huge.
livelihoods washed away as a result of that particular flood. And unlike we've witnessed in the past, I would be very candid and say that no matter the spinning around it, we accept responsibility as a government, regardless of contributions by individual members of society to this current state. When the NDC was campaigning to be elected into office, indeed, one of the commitments we made to the good people of this country was the issue of floods. And that there was a need for us as a political party to confront it head on. Unfortunately, upon assumption of office, we have met difficult circumstances in terms of our economy that more or less made it financially unsustainable for us to do the many things that we had planned as far as that sector was concerned. So we accept responsibility in terms of what needed to be done. Not to say that we have not done well, but we could have done better as a government as far as this issue is concerned. And so any frustrations out there, any disappointments out there, justifiably so if it is laid on the doorstep of the government, because it is our responsibility to ensure that we protect the ordinary citizen. Interestingly, we are still committed. We may not have been able to achieve that 100% success rate in terms of prevention and mitigation, but at least the commitment is there. And hopefully, as the economy begins to expand and the needed government resources beginning to come in, and recklessness in terms of government expenditure being controlled, maybe, hopefully by next year, we would have the needed financial resources to be able to deal decisively with issues of this nature, including the floods. So we accept responsibility. We won't play politics with this matter. But you see, that's one aspect of it, Solo. My brother, the second phase is when I saw the former Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia,
and the flag bearer.
And the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party. I think I saw him in the trenches visiting the people. And even before that, in fact, one of the interviews he granted was to the effect that nobody should do politics with the floods matter. It is enough of politics. We must concentrate. This is a national disaster, and that we must see it as such. I do not have any problem with anybody in society who raises political questions out of this current state and demand that the NDC should answer them.
Of course.
Because truly, promises were made by the NDC in relation to that. So I don't think that people are doing politics when they say or they raise issues that, look, this is your responsibility. Like I've indicated, that we accept that responsibility. And these are political questions that people are allowed to ask in a democracy. What I detest is hypocrisy that characterizes our politics. That level of hypocrisy we all must condemn. Could you? And what is the hypocrisy I'm talking about here? You don't, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party. Part of the leadership of the party, because I'm told per their constitution he is not the leader of the party, right?
Yes.
But he's part of the leadership of the party. In fact, an instrumental member. Every policy direction of the NPP now is fashioned around the vision of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. A day before, his political party issued a statement riddled with falsehoods, propaganda, and politics on the issue of floods. In less than 24 hours, the man who wants to occupy the moral high ground suddenly appears on our television stations and says that no, we should not do politics with the matter. It's not a political issue. Please, don't interject. Please. I won't allow you.
I'm asking a question.
I know this can be discomforting, but I won't allow you.
No, I'm asking.
Let me learn. Yes, your question can come.
No, I'm asking a question.
And you see, in less than 24 hours.
So you are putting aside Dr. Bawumia's call that don't do politics with it.
No, I'm telling you that I don't have a problem with even those who do politics with their matter. Even the NPP, their statement that was simply doing politics, I don't have a problem because it raises political questions that even as a government we must respond to. That's why I gave you the premise. I don't. But what I detest is the level of hypocrisy that characterizes our politics.
Agree.
I detest it. On one breath, you sit with your MPP, take a decision, issue statement,
doing politics,
riddled with politics, falsehoods and half-truths on the matter in less than 24 hours.
So
the same man
so why don't you want to take
comes out to issue what?
Why don't you? So is every statement?
No, his agenda is to disrupt me. So I understand where the questions are not sincere.
Oh, Hamza.
No, the questions are not sincere.
That's not fair.
But you see, the point I am making.
Hold on.
The point I am making.
Saying that is Hamza saying that every statement that comes from the NDC secretariat, President Mahama sees it before.
In opposition.
Oh, he has to.
Okay.
Yes.
And they are not doing serious work.
And you see,
carry on.
And I'm telling you that in less than 24 hours, the same man, where was that advice to his own political party? That's the double standards I'm talking about. Yeah. Where was that advice? Because he was part of the leadership. A statement was issued, signed by the general secretary of the party, doing politics. Then you appear in less than 24 hours and as media screens and say, don't do politics with them. And I am even saying that indeed, even the NPP is allowed to do politics with the matter. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is also allowed to decide that, look, we shouldn't do politics with the matter. But I'm telling you that they must not transpose their state of confusion into this current issue of flats that we are dealing with. This is not the time for them to do so.
Isn't this exactly what Dr. Bawumia said don't do?
Oh, but what I'm telling you about the double standards. What are you talking about?
But
what is he saying?
Hours later, he says don't play politics.
He was part of
those who say politics.
Were you there when you were drafting the statement?
You can defend him, but I'm telling you that we are not putting that is in our head.
Okay.
Please. Why don't you understand?
Move on.
It's very simple. It shouldn't be complicated.
Why is it this complicated? Unless, of course, you have an interest that we don't know about.
It's not complicated.
But the point I am making is that that level of hypocrisy must not be countenanced. Thirdly, and you see, I know Dr. Zato will agree with me on this matter that I'm coming to talk about. On a more serious note, look, regardless of the political parties, I think that the Ghanaian people must begin dealing with us politicians decisively.
Of course.
This annual ritual of opposition leaders walking to disaster scenes as if they care must be a thing of the past. I think as a responsible citizens, we must begin rising against our politicians.
Hamza, why have you left the flooding issue?
I'm going there. That will be the fourth. You see, this is all important. Please, don't do this. Don't do this. I'm building.
There are floods and you are.
No, that's why I expressed I told you my position. I'm going there. About what was the beginning of my submission? Was it not around the floods?
He's building a case.
You may not be comfortable with it, but allow me to build my case.
Well, you have a problem with him.
You have a problem.
Have I said I have a problem?
But that is what you seem to have.
But Dr. Mahmoud,
feel free, let him deal with
Dr.
him.
Mahmoud Bawumia went there to solve.
I'm not
challenging with what?
I'm telling you that. What Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia did, flag bearers in the past of the NDC this thing. In opposition.
And he's condemning the action.
I am telling you that.
Did he condemn?
Listen. I am telling you that we have gotten to a stage as a country, especially in relation to flags, that when politicians suddenly now appear there, when there's a disaster, we must be hooted at, including me, my own political party. That's why I'm saying that Dr. Zato will agree with me.
I do.
Because we did it in the past. And it's been done now. And you see, it is like a charade.
Yeah.
When roles switch, in government, it's a different ball game altogether. Then the opposition flag bearer goes and party leaders, they go and say, we are here to sympathize with you. We understand when we come to power. Then when there's a change, The government, their flag bearer now becomes opposition. Then he also goes. Then the music, the chairs continues.
When
I'm
I
telling you.
you say I shouldn't. So
I am saying that Kojo, all those things, the citizens themselves must begin rising against us.
But when it was done last year, were you okay with it? When was that?
He's making a point.
Oh.
About
Why? About what?
I'm not doing. I'm saying
last year,
when you did it, when you were in opposition.
But I just told you that it includes all of us.
No. Is that what you said when you were in opposition?
That one.
That
don't you learn from some
leader? Oh.
So there are no experiences.
Okay, it's fine.
Is this the first time?
It's fine.
You know Nanado did it.
Yes. If I
You know
went to the same cycle.
Okay.
We had Rollins in the trenches,
Yes.
distilling gutters, but Kufuor did it.
Okay.
Nanado did it.
Yes.
President Newz did it. John, His Excellency Dramani Mahama did it.
Okay.
Bawumia did it before and he's doing it again. And that's even the problem I have. He did it before and he's doing it again.
It's so sad.
And so I'm telling you that, you see, Kojo, that kind of politics, we must stop it. Regardless of who is at the center of it.
I agree with you.
The people themselves must begin to rise up.
Okay.
And now people are talking about, the flat. Look, let me set this disclaimer before. I have never in my entire life, I don't know how Zoom Lion looks like.
Okay.
To be honest with you, I've never engaged him. I've never met him. Because these days, there's a tendency, people saw me in the press, Bank of Ghana. God knows that I got nothing. God bears me witness that I'm an Elijah, I won't lie. So let me set that record straight before this one too comes to us.
So you mean Alajis don't lie?
No, some Alajis
Don't be distracted.
Let me. I was doing my work as a communicator.
Some Alajis lie. Look, I disagree with you.
No, some Alajis lie. Some Alajis lie.
He has corrected himself. Very important.
Some Alajis lie.
They do.
So I wouldn't lie. So it doesn't mean that some Alajis lie.
Yes.
Now, let me set that one. You see, I can understand the way his contract has been restructured to deal with the issue of waste management. In truth, even at the time that it was centralized, we still had pockets of trash being left. Sometimes you wonder what the heck our MMDCs are doing. Because if you can go into a market center and you can count and give people numbers and you take market tools, it shouldn't be difficult for you to introduce a sanitation levy even within that market.
They do.
And ensure that on daily basis they pay.
They collect, but it doesn't end up with the rights.
There are people who even collect to spend it. But the point I'm making is that, look, now Momo is everywhere. Let them register their shops with their Momo numbers.
Exactly.
You can track their daily payments or weekly payments. And if someone fails to pay, lock that shop or deny him or her access to where he operates from. These are things we can do as a country. How difficult is it? And when I listen to arguments that, people are built on waterways, maybe it is true.
Yeah.
But why? Look, we have schools outside. They have created tunnels for us to drive through waterways.
Of course.
And build on them.
And build on the top of them. The landscape is changing. Engineering, the face of engineering is changing, it's improving. So it is not even an excuse to keep on saying that people are built on waterways.
Now that is mine. It has never been. There are engineering solutions to that.
There are engineering solutions to that.
So why didn't we do them? But we allowed people to build directly in the water.
So that is the reason why His Excellency the President says that these difficult decisions will be taken.
Break them down.
Many of them will go down.
Yeah.
And if it begins going down, don't say that they are politically persecuting people. Because big names will suffer, both NDC and NPP.
Well, once it's cut across, no one.
No, yes, because big names will suffer. That one I can assure you.
Yeah, it has to.
But until that is done, this nation, I'm just making the point that, look, Kojo, we are all involved, but when it comes to the provision of the solutions, trust me, it is the responsibility of us, leaders.
Yeah. That's why you are leading.
the human being psychological disposition is always to take an easy way out. So I don't buy the excuse that, oh, Ghanaians throw rubbish everywhere. It is our responsibility to enforce the laws and make it impossible for them to throw rubbish everywhere. What are our MDCs, what are they doing?
Okay, all right.
Yeah. What are they doing to support the government? These are critical questions. And I remember, let me share this information. There was one time I drove to the Ministry of Lands and Local Government. And the secretary to the president, Dr. Kalistus Mahama, was in a meeting with MMDCs in Greater Accra last year. I experienced this. And what was the thrust of that meeting? It was their commitment to sanitation. Sanitation.
Secretary to the president?
Yes. Because remember, he's worked in the local government space before.
Yeah, he has worked in that space.
So he was concerned. Yeah. He said the president was concerned.
The chief of job?
No. You see,
I mean, if you have an experience in the sector.
He was concerned. So the Minister of Local Government, he just didn't go there as secretary to the president.
Yes.
He was invited by the local government ministry. And he went to address the MMDCs. And he told them the president's frustrations and anger about sanitation, and even made the point that it will be one of the critical considerations in the future reshuffle. And that the MMDCs should sit up.
They are not sitting up. Some are even...
So sometimes it is not as if the presidency is not doing what ought to be done.
Okay.
So when you hear people losing their jobs, especially after these floods,
yes,
know that it is rooted in their failure to live up to the expectations of the president's policy direction, especially when it comes to sanitation. So this was last year.
Thank you. So you should sack all of them.
So it is not as if the presidency is sleeping.
No, sack all those that are not working. I'm happy. I don't know whether it was your station or another network that captured what happened at Circle, although where there was a bystander who went into the drain and was rather collecting the dead bodies. You saw that video?
Yeah. I think I've seen something like that.
You see, I kept saying this the last 8 years, but nobody took me serious. That I don't understand why NADMO has to be filled with constituency organizers, regional organizers of political parties. What experience do they have in managing disasters? So that their only qualification to becoming a staff of NADMO is belonging to a political party. So when they went to Circle, and this is a guy who was involved in the thick of affairs, who had not been engaged by the state, he said that the NADMO officials that came there, none of them could enter the drains. So when he gathered the dead bodies, he said he was taking each body before he brings it out 3,000 cedis.
Hey,
oh yes. Because he said he had not been engaged by the state. So he is doing his more or less consultancy or private work. I bring the body out 3,000 and they were negotiating. Meanwhile, you had people that you were paying them or you have been paying them standing right there and not in a position to do the job that that young man was doing. That is not all. I saw that of Koliklote. It's an Atos constituency. She was in the rain. Now people were drowning at the other side. The NADMO people that had gotten there could not also swim or go to where the people were affected. It took fishermen to be sent to the action spot. So I asked myself, what has been the recruiting regiment for all these institutions? But you see, when the problems come, the most important thing is the lessons that we learn from it. I've told you that as for the flooding, it will happen no matter what. But when it happens, the impact of it. So going forward, next year by this time, when it rains, I am expecting NADMO to have people that have the capacity or ability to swim, people that have the capacity or ability to go and collect dead bodies like what the young man did. And what prevents NADMO from going forward in engaging these people and giving them training so that they fit it, rather than concentrate, if you like, take an audit of the NADMO staff. Politicians or politicians. Look, in 1953, I was saying the other day, if you in the Netherlands, you know they live partly below the sea level.
Yeah.
They construct what we call the dikes to block the seawater and then pump the water out of it to get land to build. So between Ghana and the Netherlands, Netherlands had to be flooding. So in 1953, indeed, there was a huge flooding and they killed 1,800 people. What did they do? They went back to the drawing board and then analyzed what really caused the flooding. They realized that the dikes were not strong enough and the height wasn't high. So they improved upon their engineering methodology, and since then, you and I have not and they have not experienced that magnitude of death in terms of flooding.
Will Ghana learn?
We have to. Look, a couple of days ago, Kentucky in the USA, they also experienced a very hefty flooding. In fact, ours is 140 millimeters, there was about 152 millimeters. So it means in terms of volume, theirs heavier than ours. But the impact of theirs wasn't as bad as ours, because I think they have systems in place. Because if you have the FEMA is the corresponding body like NADMO, Federal Emergency Management Agency. There they don't put Democrats and Republicans in FEMA. They put what we call professionals, for Christ's sake. Then you come to the engineering. Accra needs proper engineering. Like we keep saying, there is a plan for Accra. Professor Maxwell Fry and Jane Drew and Professor Hyp0crisy prepared the plan for Accra. And that plan is good. It's the reason why we have North Industrial Area, South Industrial Area. All that we need to do is to tweak the plan so that at the end of the day, we can be safe. And look at our behavior. We dress shepherd early in the morning. This is what we have done. Look. In classes, the women will put lipsticks, the men will go and shave their hair. At the end of the day, this is what we do to ourselves.
For the anchors, yes, my solo Hamza, not just it's your monkano, a solo break it down how NPP4 is spending $350 million. Just at the World Bank at the moment, say, or more fun and solving the sanitation issues in Ghana. And also, Korea has, or more, fiscal 9 year near me was somewhere at the year. Etichitichis kanumudi nieme bio mo ankasa ye de epache se Korea se no ye hoshi o shekrampo se COVID-19 by no mudi emu $65 million and almost some of the kwako solve na se Korea se no nyine hu leak audio se ba ponti NPP enkrofo se sikan menya bi o momfa me sikan menya scan bi meanwhile scan mo se na me ko solve COVID-19 cases and so Korea se na mo chama mo Solomon Ekrenche says, amount $350 million. A dorsal crime may said between their solve this air sanitation issue. A dorsal. Now, so then ye who sabri, ye who want the pepper beer a sound for this SK a now, so these are the same people most call radio so TV so almost saying ya voice and the casa. Among guasi. What just can't say, Makaman Watu, and the flat Abba, Scanner more World Bank the Mamono. One fine idea was somebody, meanwhile, most any opportunity, and almost criticize this government, and almost more this kind of thing. That is the questions I ask solo person the Obisomo. Just you who said, oh, see, Chase Kenim said, you must spend this canoe. Meanwhile, near me was somebody on my Friday, and fine, ya just a horse and papa. A year Hamza also on the other side, HSA. Near me be bra, Kosowa, just a Hyp0crisy. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia HSA. A year flooding air Kosovo, any fine politics. Meanwhile, NPP gurus a true statement or more blaming this government and their politics. Meanwhile, the other side also saying fine politics, and you are the head of the air party as you speak. Into war no say fine politics. On crowd formation say educate near politics. That's Hyp0crisy. Hamza Crampo say anytime beer Bawumia and Crawford BC town piano I was say omubuni tutu because this is the time I was say the online Ghanaians near the omeni bre. Nyame bebre see the past flag bearers I hear sebi and fucking How come so this a case is see BBC no more address yes down, yes sympathize with you, yes sympathize with you. No abeke can go, no more is kaka go, no more no be vote. San nyema we nyina was say ejai onu nim say the party nkrofo ye bi. That's why our babont air voice it out. No kase fast forward no san nyema ni kwa say the ACBM. So anytime beer sankrofo be sit down say BBC natural disaster BC. Now some bad one thing be claiming yeah they sympathize with you. I'm on to because more power no man fa isike was some of the edge man fa nye edwuma BBC and man ko ground makaze sympathize with you. Meanwhile mu yesu Ghana for a din and a kwaje bosia somebody be bo so man fa nye hwede nyama we are there time on a bust in mind or dream when they want to say and this is the time I was here stopping in just with JJ my the enhu ya just say enya asem keto awreho yi pa it is me be bit my den a charge on the comment section subscribe na share more news so den ya benti Akroma.